Release the Kraken!
Alright, welcome back, fellow game designers. This time we're going to go ahead and finish up with the hair of the elf, and we'll add an eyeball as well. Let's add the eye first, because that'll just take a quick second. I'm going to throw in a sphere here. Go into a front view. Move that up to about where the eye is. Now with the sphere, go ahead and go to my channel box. We generally rotate this so that the top of the sphere is facing forward. So I go to X here, and I do 90. You can see how it looks like there's a pupil. I'll just move that to about where the eye is going to sit. Get the scale tool by hitting the R key. I'll go ahead and scale this up. Side view. We'll move it forward about there. Press F to frame up on that. He's a bit bug-eyed. The eye's kind of off to the side there. So that lines up pretty close. What we have to do is adjust this to the shape of the eye. So I'll grab some of these points here. That one. Hit Q to get rid of my move tool real quick. That corner piece. I'm going to get these outer parts as well, just so I don't mess up the width of the eyelid here. That's fine. But all this space that's away from the eye, I'm going to move it back. Move it in. Check top and bottom. You can see up top here, I have a few that are not quite on the eyeball, so I'm going to grab those. Grab that one and that one. Now we have this little inside-out piece because we have that thing behind the eye. We added so it would sink into the eyeball. We're going to move that as well. So I'm going to move the eyeball out of the way. So before I move the eyeball, I want to make sure it's set to 0. That way I know when I move it back, it's good. So I'm going to take it in object mode, go up to modify. Let's do a freeze transform. So hit the options here. Just make sure translate, rotate, and scale are all checked. We'll hit freeze. You'll see these all are now 0. So if I were to move this off and then set it back to 0, boop, it'll go back into place, which is handy. I'm going to select the face here, looking for this vertex, move it back. I'm actually going to grab this entire edge ring, so that one, shift select that. To kind of snap it, I'm going to hold down the V key and drag. I'm going to snap it back to about here. I'm hovering over that point, that's why it's snapping that far back. And I'm just going to pull that forward just a little bit. The whole point of that is to make sure they're just lined up and out of the way. Okay, I'm going to put this back into place. So object mode 0. Good enough. For the hair, I'm going to select all the area that's going to make up the hair cap. So that's going to be the top of the head here. So I'm going to select here, hold shift, double click. That's going to grab that loop all the way around. This one, hold shift, double click. Whoops. This one, kind of go through. And to kind of get a selection a bit quicker, I'm going to come over to my selection tools. You see I have the pointer, we have the lasso, that's this one, and then we have a paintbrush. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And then as I click and drag, I can kind of paint my selection. Sometimes this brush is pretty big. If you hold down the B key and then drag, you can scale this brush. You can also open up the tool palette over here. That's a little hammer. And you can adjust the radius and the values there. So you can adjust it here. Right. And that's going to let me paint the area that I want, which is a lot nicer than sitting there clicking the whole time. And as I paint this, I'm just going to get the area where the hair is going to start. You know, he might have sideburns or something like that. Oops. I didn't mean to deselect those. I'm going to grab here. Get that. Okay, so we'll pretend that that's plenty of hair for him. I'm going to go up to Edit Mesh. I'm going to come down to Duplicate. And this is actually Duplicate Face. So what it's going to do is going to make a copy of the selection that I have. So I'll go ahead and hit that. I'm going to press Q. I'm going to click off. So Q just deselects. I'm going to click off. And now if I select the body, go to Object Mode. Let's do it again. If I select the body, if I drag a box, you'll see I have two pieces. Hold down Control and just kind of click on the body piece. So now we have this cap here, right? And all I want to do off this cap, I'm going to do an extrusion and some adjustments to it. So very simple. I'll hit the extrude button. I'm going to pull off this blue arrow. And now I have this little football helmet shaped for the hair. Okay. Hit Q, edge mode. Now I don't need a lot of the cuts that are in here, so some of these are a bit extra, like this one. If I double click that, that'll take it back. I don't need that, so I'll hit delete for that edge. I don't want this interconnection, so grab this edge, double click, Control click, get rid of that one, get rid of that, press delete, I'll get rid of the inner section of that. Now this is a separate object, so I'm going to be aware that this is a separate piece. The reason for that is so that we have control over the creation of it. So if I go into my front view, See, I have most of the shape already made. I don't have to do much to it. On my side view, again, most of the shape is already made, but I will do a few adjustments here and there. So I'm going to grab this edge loop, and this one doesn't go all the way through because it ends at an angle there. Kind of pull that up. Let's go into object mode. Let's change the opacity. So mesh material attributes. Sorry. Draw that up. Vertex mode. I'll grab these vertices here and move them. Now I do have two things selected, so just try to be careful with that. We actually don't need this intersection of the hair, so let's actually move this off. Object mode. Let's go back, make the transparency lower just to make life easier. You can see as I select this, the widget is way down there. I'm going to do modify, so select that, modify, center pivot. Now this is here. Let's check our channel box. You can see that everything is 0, so if I move this and then move it back by hitting 0, it should work. And then all this inner stuff. I don't need any of these interior faces. So just move this off. Just kind of like we did on the edge here, we don't need those either. Paint selection, face mode. If it's already highlighted, just kind of grab your arrow and click off, and then grab your paint selection. All right, go ahead and just grab those. It's unnecessary to have anything inside the model that you won't ever see, so it's just cleaning this up here. Make sure I don't have anything extra. Cool. Delete that off. So now we just have that. Take that. I'll set these both back down to 0. That should snap it back to the head. And it does. Let's see. It looks like I have a bad edge there. Right here in the middle, you see this extra vertex. So when we deleted that edge, we left some vertices in. Let's go ahead and select the entire head here. Make sure you're in vertex mode. And then we're going to hit delete. And when we do, you'll see it clips out some of the vertices. But it also clips out some of the vertices on the edge. See that? That one I still want. So I'm going to hit Control Z, hit Q to get my tool. I'm going to hold Control and click that one because I don't want that one disappearing. Kind of the same deal on pretty much any of the corners where it's just two vertices. That's got 3. This one has 3. So that's probably good. That one's got 3. So this one. So anything with 3 vertices or 3 edges is fine. These are gonna go. Boop. So all those extra vertices are gone. Go ahead and fix my hair. It's okay to have a bit of a part in the middle. So grab these in the middle, kind of pull those in. This is gonna be the parting of the hair. This one I'll move back. Oops. These I can move back. These ones I can move up. I'm just rounding this off. Now, a bit of a trick, what I just did there, I couldn't see it, but I know the vertex is there. If you get close to a vertex, you can see how my mouse, if it's close to a vertex, it'll highlight. You see that? If I get closer to that one, it'll highlight. So all I did is I hovered my mouse over until I know it's going to be closer to the vertex over here, and then I clicked. That's how I ended up getting that one. Same deal here. Like if I'm up here, I'm close to that one, but if I come this way, I'm closer to that one. Same deal here. I don't have to actually see it. I know that if I'm not highlighting that one, the only one I can be getting is this one over here. So and hair doesn't have to be perfectly even. It's okay if it's a little off. This is going to be pretty blocky as it is anyway. Now he does have these little wisps that kind of hang off. So to do that, I'm going to actually do that with an extrusion right around here. How many do I have? I've got, looks like maybe 2. And you can kind of place this wherever you like. You can have them come off of here. You can have them come off of there. I'm going to have it come out of here. Hit extrude. Pull that off. Scale it in. For my side view, I can kind of like eyeball where that's going to be. And if I want that to have some more flexibility, I just add an edge loop to it. So Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop. Double click the edge if I want it. Kind of move it. Hit another edge loop. Kind of move it. I'm going to add the ponytail. And that part's pretty easy. I'm just going to extrude off of here. I'm going to even some of this out just a little bit. And go ahead and even this out some more. And actually, as I'm looking at this, remember we have half the head here. So I'm only going to do half the ponytail. Grab those two, just move this up. Pull that out. And if we look, the ponytail kind of attaches lower anyway, so I'll grab off of these lower two. I'll extrude, pull that blue arrow, scale those in. Let's adjust our opacity here and try to match the shape of the ponytail a little bit. Sure. I'll have to add an edge loop to kind of get that in. But I'm going to round this off a little bit. So you can see how this is still kind of jagged. Kind of round it. Just a little, you know. We do have some internal faces, but I'll cut those at the last. minute. Alright, so let's grab these bottom two. Pull that out. Check my alignment. You can see this is coming off the center. We're going to have to fix that. I'll extrude again. Hit W, I'll pull this out. And then one more for the ending piece. Taper that in. Let's grab the edge loop tool. Mesh tools, insert edge loop. Put an edge loop here so that I can shape the tail, or the, yeah. Grab that. And actually I'll pull these in. Get my edge loop tool. Shape this part of the ponytail. Kind of rinse and repeat here. We got two more ponytail sections to do. And then one more. Okay. Go to the side, or my perspective view. I'll check some of this stuff. And now I can start cleaning it up. So let's adjust our opacity. Grab these edges. Kind of grab these and go down the line, making some adjustments. If you're ever pulling things in 3D space, be careful because you can't ever tell where they're going. You see that? So when you hit like this little square and you pull it, you don't know exactly where it's going to line up. So you're always better off using your arrows. Okay. And then that last point I will pull out. And that one I did pull in 3D space, so I have to kind of pay attention to what I did with it. Okay, so there is the ponytail. Let's get rid of the internal faces. So face mode, get these. Remember, this is on the inside of the model here. And before I take those off, I'm actually going to snap them to the middle. So I'm going to go to top view, hit W. And just to make sure, it looks like I have something else off center. Hold down the X key, snap to the grid line. Okay. I'm going to hit delete to get rid of those internal faces. So there's the hair piece. Alright, so the last part of this video is really going to be combining this and getting it ready to go. So let's go to the front view. It's like the main model. And if everything's good and clean, it'll work out really well for you. Go to vertex mode. I'm going to select, it doesn't really matter which one, but on the edge of the face, or edge of the body, I'm going to select a vertex. I'm going to hold shift and select the next one down the line. And when I double click that, it should grab all the ones on the center line. You see that? Now, if yours did not go all the way through, that means you have n-gons or triangles or misaligned vertices somewhere. You can come to the middle of your front view and try marquee selecting to get those as well. You can try that. But sometimes you end up getting extra. See? So you have to be extra careful. But once you have these middle vertices, hit W just to make sure everything's good in the center. Hold down the X key, and we're going to snap those to the middle as well. If you're finding that things are not snapping correctly, double check your tool. So tools over here, move snap, and make sure retain component spacing is off and that we are in world space. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and select the hair piece. Vertex mode. Once again, I'm going to grab the inner vertices. And I'm going to do my double clicking trick. So I'm going to go ahead and select one. Hold shift, select the next one down the line. It should get the entire thing. Now, you can see there's actually a problem. We don't want this, this piece to merge over. So we're going to have to do it the other way. Let's go up to a top view. And I'm going to go ahead and do a drag select right across the center line. Make sure I don't get anything past the center line. Looks good. And then again, W, hold X, snap to the middle. Make sure everything's good and aligned. Okay. So now it's time to do our mirror across. So I'm going to select our model. Go ahead and save it real quick, just in case. Select the model. We're going to go up to Mesh, come down to Mirror, hit the box. If you've modeled the same way that I did, where X is left and right, you can see that. Then you're going to come down here and do Mirror Axis X. We're going to do a copy of this. It's going to be on World. We're going to combine with the original, merge the vertices together. Merging threshold will leave us automatic. And the rest of this is pretty good. We hit Apply. And that should give us the other half of our dude across. Look at that. And you can see there's some spots in here we'll have to kind of clean up. But I'll leave that for you. Kind of go in there and just fix those. There's that. Same thing with the hair piece. I'm going to select the hair. Go ahead and do the apply. Cool beans. Now with the hair cap, because we had that hole, go ahead and move it up. Just make sure that we don't have anything connected in a weird spot. So right here, that's a weird spot, right? I'm going to grab that. Vertex in the middle, pull it down. So what it did is it welded these together, which we don't want. Go ahead and delete that vertex. Grab your target weld tool. And turn the mirroring in the X on. So up here, we'll do mirror object X. And you can see if everything's lined up perfectly, it'll give us a mirror. If you don't see that option, go to your tools, grab your little pointer, and you can do symmetry settings and then symmetry object X as well. Okay. Multi-cut tool. And I'm just going to fix this edge. So from here, click, click, click. And then right click to finish that. And then these, hit Q, Edge mode, I'll select that and delete it. Okay. Looks like we have a little bit of extra there as well. Vertex mode, make sure we have anything extra. Okay. Multi-cut tool. I'm going to cut from here to the middle. And then I'm going to get rid of these two. So, edge tool, grab those. Delete. Okay. And then this vertex, I'll pull back and up. And that should help with that. Okay. Got that, got that. We'll set that back to 0. With them all finished up, he kind of looks like George Clooney. And then for the eyeball, we'll actually worry about this later because we have to do some color work on the eye. So copying it over would just be redundant because we'd have to delete it again anyway. So we'll leave just the one eye for now. With that, we can go ahead and save this. And I shall see you guys in the next video.